I have lots of leftover material, or a big piece of leftover fleece material like this, and I am going to make a simple toy. I've never made it before, but I'm going to give it a go, and all it is squares. So I'm going to decide what size I want the squares, cut them out, just cut as many squares as I can get out of this, and then I'll show you how I put it all together. So as you can see, the first thing I do is just cut out long strips, and this strip is, let's measure, I think it's about 15 centimetres. 15 centimetres, let's see if it's 15 at the bottom. I've probably done it a bit bigger than that. Oh, 16, not too bad. So yeah, I've just measured 15 centimetres and cut it all along, and then I'm going to cut this into little squares of 15 centimetres. Decided that these are actually a bit too big, in fact quite a bit too big. I'm going to cut these in 4. That will make it quite small. I think it's supposed to be a little bigger than that. I'll just make little pieces like that, but I'm going to try it small and see how he gets on, because the smaller the pieces, the easier it will be for them to get the treats. So I'm going to try it small first, because I feel like bits of fleece, even if I just put a treat inside that and closed over, it's actually quite hard for a dog to get to that, because I've got a few things that I've made in that sort of style, and it's quite difficult for him to get to. So I am going to make them, I think it'll be like 7 centimetres by 7 centimetres. Okay, so I'm sure you get the plan by now. You just keep on cutting little squares like that, and that's how they're going to be joined together. So just get as many as you can with as much kind of spare material that you have. So I am going to keep on cutting, and I will come back to you when I have got a good old pile of squares. So I have a little pile of squares. It's not a huge pile, but that's okay, because like I said, I want to just test out this toy. The ones I've seen are probably twice this length, but you know, you can put treats in between as many layers as you want. So the next thing I need to have is just something to thread through the middle. So I happen to have a little edge here. Can you see that? So I'm just going to cut this edge, and that will be what I will thread through. But you could use like string or ribbon, or you know, you could literally use anything. This is probably going to be too thick. Okay, so we now need to make a hole in these. Now, of course, you can use scissors. I've got this little tool. I can't even remember what it's called. It says Clover on it, but I think that's the brand. But it's just a kind of stabby tool. This is actually for felting, and so this will be quite handy to try and poke a hole in some of them. Let's see how many I can get through. I need to be very careful, because I do end up injuring myself. Something I wanted to say is, you don't have to have, these don't have to be perfectly sized. In fact, you know, if they're slightly off size, it's probably going to work better, you know, if they're not all uniform. So I've made one little hole with that, but I am going to need to go in with my scissors so that I'm able to actually thread something through this hole. I'm just going to go in and twist, twist, twist. And then, now this is going to be the difficult bit, threading it through actually. I think I'm going to have to cut this in half. Let's see how I get on. Let's see, it might be a one at a time thing. This is probably going to be the most difficult bit, it seems. And again, there's a tool you can get for threading big material. I can't remember the name of it either, but that would be helpful to have right now. So now I've got a couple on, I'm just going to tie a knot in this end so that they don't come off. So you can see that little knot at the end, and so then, yeah, it's just a case of the long old job of threading these on. Okay, I don't have very much patience, so I am going to try and snip a little hole in these. I'm just going to do a tiny little cut and see if that helps me, because this is taking forever. Yeah, I think this will be easier. So maybe I don't even need to use that tool. Just snip a little hole. You just want to be very, very careful not to make it too big, because otherwise the dog will be able to rip, you know, pull these off of the toy. That's what you don't want to do. So it might be better to just do it singly and like literally just do a tiny little snip like that. When you're putting them on, I think it actually will make it easier and a bit more interesting if you do them sort of at angles. Do you see what I mean? Rather than just all in one pile of flat. Now you can do that after you've put them on. You don't have to. Okay, so that is the toy made. So I am going to push it fairly tight together because, you know, I want it to be difficult enough for him to get in, but not like completely so that you can't, you know, get anything in between, because you need to be able to put treats in between. So let's loosen this up slightly. And then I'm just going to tie a knot in this end. I imagine he'll try and pull this. He might even try and chew it. The only thing is, it depends, you know, on your dog's personality as to how they will get the treats. If they're nice and gentle, then they'll just snaffle through this. Watson can be a bit boisterous, so he might just try and pull this. So if he pulls this middle bit out, then we're going to have a problem. And the toy will be destroyed. But if he does, then I'll know next time to make it with something a bit stronger, you know. But let's see how we get on with this. Uh-oh. Seems to be broken. It seems to be broken. That was what I was worried about. So we need to put a stronger piece of thread through that, don't we? Like a piece of thick rope or something.